Eagles are still searching for a defensive coordinator, while Carson Wentz, WOOGIE, he's searching for a new team. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here, and hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. So, are we ever going to find a defensive coordinator? Is it ever going to happen? Right now, Desai looks like he has the best opportunity to get the job. He got his second interview today, and we're going to have to see what happens. Speaking of seeing what happens, look what happened to Carson "WOOGIE" Wentz. Did you hear? Got cut by the Washington Commanders. What a stupid name. But he's gone. And we're going to talk about him and his future. We got a lot to talk about today. So if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, most throttled Eagles content creator in all of the internet. And if you've been subscribed for a while, all I can say to you guys is thank you for all your support that you give to me. It truly means a lot. I appreciate it. Just double check, double moonwalk check. Make sure you're still subscribed. But you guys are literally the best subscribers in the whole world. Even your trolls are pretty cool as well. Now, gosh, we got a lot to talk about. A lot of things we're waiting on. We're waiting to see what's going to happen with our coordinators, where the Eagles are going to be planning to go in free agency, the draft. The combine is getting ready to start. It's going to be fascinating. But first things first, let's talk about WOOGIE. One, Carson "WOOGIE" Wentz. Carson Wentz, released by the Commanders after only one season, saves $26.2 million in cap space. This is not a surprise at all. We all kind of knew. I think Washington pretty much came out and said that Carson Wentz basically wasn't coming back. And I got to tell you, when I think of Carson Wentz, I look at a guy. I look at a guy that had tons of talent, tons and tons of just natural ability, a cannon arm. He had it all physically. He really did. He just didn't live up to it. It was all up here with him. You know, if you look at Carson Wentz and his arm and his size and how big he was, right, and everything he had going for him, and then you look at a guy like Jalen Hurts, who everybody has doubted, went later in the draft, people complain about his arm. Totally two different guys. One guy has the makeup. He has all the intangibles. He has the brains. He's smart. He's a hard worker. And he's a good player. And that's Jalen Hurts. Carson Wentz, nah. He never mentally was able to recover. He never really was. And the question is where did it all go bad for Carson Wentz, right? 2017, having an MVP year, having a great year. Okay, he gets hurt. Horrible. The Eagles go on to win a Super Bowl. We heard reports that he was kind of even saying out loud he hoped that they lost because he didn't want to see them win without him, right? This was the kind of guy we're dealing with. This is what me and many fans did not know about Carson Wentz. Do you guys remember when Carson was first drafted? He did it. There was an article, and I forget where the article was, if it was like the Philadelphia Inquirer or wherever it was, but he did an article talking about being a North Dakota quarterback, playing in bad weather and being mentally strong and being the perfect guy for Philly, the perfect mindset. Do you remember that? I don't know if anybody remembers that, but I remember reading that going, oh yeah, man, this is going to be great. It was nothing like that. He was nothing like that. Truth is, I think Carson Wentz was done. The playoff game versus Seattle, right? Because he gets hurt, comes back in 2017, 2018, he plays hurt, he has his back problems. But I thought at the end of the 2019 season, he started playing really good. You had players that you had receivers that didn't have over 500 yards, and he was dishing the ball all around. He gets the Eagles in the playoffs. He gets to his first playoff game versus Seattle, gets a concussion, goes out of the game. Now, I don't think it was the concussion that got him. I think it was Howie Roseman, right? Because what happens? Carson Wentz is in the locker room Howie Roseman, he's up in the stands with his binoculars. He's looking, and he's going, look at this guy. This guy's hurt again. So he goes down there to the locker room. Carson's wife is there. Carson's throwing up. And he comes in with his Napoleon hat, his pocket pencil protector, his giant glasses. And he's like, get your ass out there. Get out there and play. None of this. This is the playoffs. You get out there. And he's like 5'4", and he's yelling at Carson. And Carson's wife's screaming, and Carson's throwing up, and he never went in. And then basically, Howie Roseman was done with him after. Done with him. I'm working on an HBO series. It's going to be on HBO Max. That's all about this. It's called Woogie Nights. And it's coming out hopefully soon. But it's all about the situation with Carson Wentz and Howie Roseman. And we're going to add some things to it. But you're going to love it. You're going to love it. But to me, that's when Carson Wentz was done. He's done as a starter. He'll go somewhere. He'll be a backup. And that's that. But what a disappointment he was, man. Jeez. And you kind of also knew, like, when he didn't want to fight for his job versus Hurts, it showed us a lot. It showed me everything I needed to know. Now, as for the Eagles goes, we're still looking for a coordinator. We still need a coordinator. I mean, we got the combine starting up, and we don't have a defensive coordinator or technically an offensive coordinator at this point, even though we kind of know who it's going to be. But right now, the Eagles, we're waiting to see. Glenn Schumann backed out. He doesn't want the job. He's returning to Georgia, which leaves pretty much two guys, Denard Wilson and Desai, Sean Desai. They're going to be basically the two choices. Now, Sean Desai, speaking about him, he had an interview today, right? Josh Tolentino said this: Eagles interview Sean Desai a second time for the defensive coordinator position. Desai, a former Temple coach, is the associate head coach and defensive assistant with the Seahawks. He worked previously as the Bears defensive coordinator. Now, here's my thing. You ask me, who would I choose? Which guy would I want? I really don't know. I feel like the coordinators and the guys that I want are not in the running right now. It looks like the Eagles are kind of going a different way. And I don't know. Between Wilson and Desai, I don't know who to go for. Hear a lot of good things about Sean Desai. Hear a lot of good things about him. Then you hear players talking about Denard Wilson being the defensive coordinator. He should get the job. So I really don't know how it's going to go. What I do know is I think you need a defense that's more aggressive in general. I think you need to blitz 40% of the time. That's about what I think. Now, I know a lot of people don't agree with me, but that's what I believe. And I believe that losing the talent and the players that you're going to lose this year, okay, and not being able to replace them right away, I think you need to have a more aggressive defense. Here's what kind of scares me about Sean Desai, right? Elliot Shore Parks posted this: Sean Desai's defenses in 2021 with Chicago, 24th in points per drive, 23rd in blitzing. That's what scares me. He was 23rd in blitzing. 2022 Seattle, 24th in points per drive, and 31st in blitzing. Defense worth noting, neither roster had elite talent, great quarterback play, which impacts the defense. It does. The talent around definitely does. Now, those stats worry me. I would like to see the blitzing a little higher than that, but it is what it is. And we're going to find out, what he is. To me, I'm giving him, Wilson, whoever, I make no judgments. I'm going to give him a fair shake, and I'm just going to be very hopeful that they're going to be decent. That's what I'm hoping for right now, because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about either of these guys. It is what it is, but we'll see. We'll see. Also, we got to say this: the Eagles give Michael Clay, the special teams coordinator, they gave him an extension. Eagles reportedly give special teams coordinator Michael Clay an extension and raise. Now, he's viewed as a very up and coming, bright young mind in the National Football League. I was very underwhelmed by their special teams play, so I don't know, but hey, you want to keep your coaches, I guess that's what you have to do. As far as the defensive coordinator goes, either Wilson or Desai, at this point, I don't care. I give them both a fair shake, a fair shot. What are you going to do? What I'm interested in though is getting it done, because like I said, you're going to have the combine coming up this week. The Eagles are going to have Howie there. They're going to have Nick Sirianni there. And remember, the combine isn't just about talking to the players and meeting these college guys coming out and trying to figure out who's who. It's also about going and talking to other teams and trying to figure out what teams may have, which free agent shakes off here, what free agent shakes off here, who could be interested in a trade here, who could be interested in a trade there. So this is where Howie Roseman shines. This is where he's got to work the room, start to figure things out. Because like I said about this team, there's a lot of moves to be made. There's a lot of things that this team has to do. And if they do the right things, they will get back to the Super Bowl. But they got to play their hand right. So this is a very important week, and I wish we had a defensive coordinator. We know it's going to be a very similar scheme to what the Eagles had last year under Jonathan Gannon. My hope is it's just a little more aggressive than Jonathan Gannon was, and that's what I'm waiting for. And I think just a tad bit, I think it would make a big difference for this Eagles defense. No question about it. It's going to be interesting. And one other thing I want to say this, because a lot of people have asked me, what are your thoughts on Jalen Ramsey? Jalen Ramsey, they're trying to trade him. If they don't trade him, looks like he might get cut. Would you sign him? Do you think the Eagles should go after him? My thoughts are this. I'd stay away. I like Jalen Ramsey. He's a great player. But how are you going to afford Jalen Ramsey but not James Bradberry? I don't understand how that would work. I don't see how you could do that. There's no way. It sounds like the Lions are the most likely destination for him. So I don't see how that would work when you can't keep Bradberry. How are you going to keep Jalen Ramsey? Jalen Ramsey's only 28 years old. I thought he was older. I thought he was like 30 or something, but he's actually younger. So he's only 28 years old. I don't see how that's going to happen. But I wanted to put that out there because I've had a lot of people ask me, what do you think about Jalen Ramsey if he would come to Philly? I mean, I think he would love to come to Philly, but I don't think the Eagles could afford him. But then again, I never put anything past Howie Roseman because he is Howie Roseman. It's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. And I do know this. Howie is going to make some moves that are going to shock everybody. The Eagles are going to be a lot more aggressive than people think. And it may not be in terms of signing free agents. It may be in terms of gaining draft picks, moving up in the draft. It's going to be eventful, no question about it. But the first thing first, we got to get our coordinator situation under control and figured out. Then we can start figuring out what guys would be a good fit and who wouldn't. And we'll see. But that's basically where we're at today. With that said, take care. Talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. So what's pretty interesting to me? I think Cowboy fans are starting to turn on Mark Holmes. I think they're starting to turn on Mark Holmes. I don't know if you guys saw, but Mark Holmes did a video the other day trying to kind of cut on Jalen Hurts, right? Jalen Hurts didn't win the big game. Oh, he didn't do this. He's not the best quarterback in the NFC East. Jalen Hurts is clearly the best quarterback in the NFC East. And he was kind of taking shots, while building up Dak. He's always building up Dak, right? But I thought it was kind of funny because when you read the comments, the Cowboy fans were not letting him off the hook. They're like, nah, Mark, guess what? Jalen Hurts got his team to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts is one that's made playoff games as Dak Prescott. Jalen Hurts is younger and has already done more than Dak Prescott. And they're not letting him off the hook. So I want to kind of give a little golf clap to some of you Cowboy fans out there for finally waking up and recognizing the Mark Holmes propaganda. Denzel Washington out.